What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Core 187. Core 187 is the movement. You already know what we about. We about video games over here, but we also about that technology. And it's time to have that conversation, because I don't know what is going on with people and not realizing how advanced other countries are and what they're using and how we're trying to catch up in the process, right? So, technology has been spread in so many directions. I'm a millennial. So shout out to all my millennials. I come from an era where we had chalkboards and we had composition books, right? We had Trapper Keepers, right? And then we had books of whatever we had to read, whatever the case may be, even if that was history, English, math, whatever, et cetera, right? Then I got into my early 20s, and I saw that because I used to work in the school. It went from chalkboards to smart boards, right? Now, I remember when that was a whole big thing with that too, because it was technology that nobody knew. A lot of teachers didn't like it. They wanted to go to the original situation, but they realized that they didn't get as dirty with the smart boards, right? Still had textbooks, still had compositions, still had Trapper Keepers, right? This generation, with my kids, right, which is completely crazy, and this goes for every parent, right? Tablets. Yo, I couldn't even have tablets in where I was from back when I was growing up, because they know they would have got stolen. Know what I'm saying? Laptops. All the information's on the computer now. Piece of paper is kind of like obsolete. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't mean that's not still being used. Yo, my kid, literally, my oldest, never did scripture in his whole entire life. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm having a small rant, but I'm going to get there, right? So now let's get to this AI thing when it comes to technology, right? It's already locked in. They're not changing it. It's going to be in everything, right? I'm going to give you first and foremost. Hello, all the new people going to college, all you youngins going to college and getting out of high school and on the next 5 years and up, or even in the next year or so, moving up. Guess what? Guess what they're implementing as a mandatory thing? AI literature. You can look it up. AI literature is literally a mandatory class in college that they're implementing. Don't take my word for it. Go look it up, right? That's one. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. Like I said, I know it's a tool. I'm looking at it as a tool. I'm not looking at it as the all be all, right? Because everything is flawed. Technology is flawed. Tools are flawed. It is what it is, right? So you need AI literacy for that. That's going to be a big thing, right? So with that being said, you have that going on. Not only that do you have going on, everybody's like, oh, if this game got AI in it, if the new Halo game got AI in it, and if they're going to just go to AI, I don't want it. Well, let's break everything down now, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a PS5 Pro right now, it has AI features already in it. It's already in it, right? It's already in it. And guess what? For all you Xbox users as well, guess what's going on? They're going to be using the new chip that they're using. You can look it up. Don't take my word for it. Guess what it is? It's AI. It's AI based, right? You got a Nintendo Switch too? What you think the DLSS is? It's AI. It's an AI enhancement to kind of regulate certain pixelated situations that the prototype can't do on its own for what it's worth. You know what I mean? So, that just tells you the PS6, the next systems that's coming, even movies are putting AI in it. And some of the stuff, and I'm going to go back to the gaming part. So, like for GTA 6, if you already, I'm glad I said this. If you are a GTA 6 and you want that GTA 6, are you excited for GTA 6? Look this up too. Guess what? They're implementing AI in the NPCs to give NPCs more character-based situations, so they just won't be a program. They'll actually have more variety within that particular NPC that you're going past. Like if it's a random person on the street or this, that, and the third, you can actually have more interaction with, because that's what the gaming industry is going to start doing. They're starting to put AIs inside the NPCs so that the AIs are actually living in real time. So guess what? all the slower process of having to program that NPC is going to be 10 times more. That doesn't mean that the AI is going to replace the program of the NPC. What it's going to do is take whatever the program of the NPC is using that we put into it. The AI will enhance that particular character and add other characteristics to make that NPC, make it more lively and not seem like in certain areas repeating itself, or the world seems dead, seems like it's like kind of like brain rotted, and it's just the same thing with the continuum. That's pretty much what that situation is going to be. Moving forward, they're even putting it inside trucking. Yes, people, truckers, hi, how you doing? Listen, they're going to start implementing that. It's going to actually be programs that we literally going to have to literally learn. We have to get retaught what the new information that's going to be coming down the pipeline. I don't know how soon, but it's going to be soon. You know what I mean? Like, literally, like AI is going to be the most biggest thing since computers. It's going to be the biggest thing since iPhone. And you know what I'm saying? It's the next big leap that we haven't really seen in a very long time. Because I'll be honest with you, technology has been somewhat stale. Has been. You know what I mean? That's why I tell people all the time. Like, I talked to my friend Manja about it, and I told him, like, we was playing Ghost of Yote, and my son, shout out to my son, he saw it, and he's playing it on his regular PS5. I got a PS5 Pro, so he's looking at his PS5. He come downstairs and look at Ghost of Yote on my TV because I got everything decked out, and he's like, nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. This looks way better than what mine's look like. Like, if you have a PS5 Pro and you got the right TV and you know what I'm talking about. Ghost of Yote don't look the same at all, or any game don't look the same with the PS5 Pro. I'm just being honest. The ray tracing, the performance pro enhancements, all of that, the 60 frames per second on 4K display is insane. It looks totally different. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Even the new TVs that's coming out is going to have AI-based situations, if not already. Yeah, I didn't know that, did you? Yeah, if you got some new TCLs or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and it's pushing like those hard, pixelated frame rates and all of that, yeah, go look it up. You got AI built in it. Yeah. It may have different work components, but it says AI. Literally. AI ain't going nowhere. AI is not going anywhere. AI is the new program. It's your new Photoshop. It's your new Bluetooth. You know what I mean? Like, I could even bring that up. Like, as far as technology is concerned, I remember, I'm a millennial. Shout out to my millennials again. You guys all remember, I come from a place where it was called dial-up, right? When it came to the internet, right? Some of y'all don't even know what dial-up is. If you do, shout out to you, right? But with dial-up, you would get on the internet. It would literally press the number of what your dial-up number was to get on the internet. And pretty much, you would get online. The speed was super, super slow. Super slow. You couldn't even play a video game on computer unless it was like a stand-based situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, like the server just had to stay still, and like you had to wait for certain load times, and that took forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, we came from that. Then we got DSL. You know what I'm saying? DSL was like your first, internet that was like a lot faster, right? And then what happened was, because there was no Wi-Fi built into it, or it was no Wi-Fi built into the internet back then. It wasn't. You had to get what they still use to this very day, which they've gotten better with, which was adapter hubs. And I'm telling you right now, those adapter hubs that were like, because it was better to use an Ethernet cable than it was using an wireless adapter, because wireless adapters were trash. I remember playing SOCOM. And I remember, shout out to my step-pops, right? He bought the adapter thinking the adapter was going to mess up. As soon as somebody walked past the Wi-Fi, or you got too much metal in the area, your joint was kaput. You'd be frozen, you'd be lagging, glitching, the whole 9 yards. Sometimes it worked good for my benefit. A lot of times it was terrible, right? But what happened? Eventually, over time, companies started building the Wi-Fi into the program. It made a lot of things smoother. Didn't have to have a lot of wires all over the place. Didn't have to have the adapter as much. And I got a big house. My house that I live in, my house is big. And my Wi-Fi reaches everywhere. Know what I'm saying? It just does. So I only say that to say this. Like, that just was a step in technology, and technology is the move. Like, it's going to be the continuous move of our lives. Know what I mean? Now, I don't condone getting chips in your hand, and I'm definitely not. And I don't believe in getting chips in your head. Like, I think that's just kind of crazy. I think that's a little too much. That's a little too far, right? But as far as learning and knowing the technology of what the norm is going to be today, yeah, it's going to be AI based. Because I'm being honest, and people, like, even with a lot of the robot situations, they're going to have AIs in it as well that they're starting to program and implement into the world. Do I think it's cool? Yes and no. Know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's cool to have robots do certain things, whatever. Do I think that do I think that's going to be it's going to be the end all be all? No, definitely not. But another thing, right? A lot of people say, "Oh, well, Corey, when it comes down to it," because I have these conversations all the time. "Oh, they taking jobs and this, that, and the third." Yo, is it the computer that's really doing it, or is it us too? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it real. Like, you know how many companies lose people that just want to quit and just don't care, and they lose a whole bunch of money trying to invest in somebody else, and they got to flip it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until they find the right person. But they need somebody to be stationed there. That's why they're starting to put robots in there in certain cases, and with AI enhancements that can actually function to some form of fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it to be that way, but we also got to take a look at ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, AI literally is to to speed up the process in certain areas that are running slow, to keep these companies going in certain cases. Now, if the company decides that they want to go full AI, then I don't blame it on the AI or the robots. I blame it on that person running that show, 110%. You know what I'm saying? But if you looking at thinking like AI is going to just die, good luck. Good luck, because you're going to be the only person sitting there trying to fight the good fight, and you're going to lose. If you have not looked and you have not done your due diligence of just reading, that's the problem with people too. Like, I'm being honest, a lot of y'all don't read. A lot of y'all don't take the acknowledgement of, like, really observing today's situation. Everything is at face value, right? So whatever you see is what you decide that you want to look at. But you never say, you know what? Say, for instance, right? Y'all say, I don't want AI. But then y'all don't do the due diligence of going to the background and seeing how much AI is being implemented in other areas. Y'all just looking at one section. When there's like a whole pie, you just looking at a sliver. Stop doing that. Know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the case and y'all don't feel like you don't want AI in your house, and AI is going to be in your household too. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be in your household too. They making, vacuums, all that. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Like, I'm not saying I condone and I agree, but it is what it is. Millennials know. Anything that's been implemented is already here. We you can try to stop the good fight, but it ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen. But, and no, I don't agree with the things that's going on in music either. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole other story. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, when you take the heart out of music, it's different. But when it comes to certain stories and even anime, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm ranting right now. I really don't care. I'm just giving out the perspective of what's happening. This ain't me. This is what companies are doing. Even with anime right now, you can look this up too. They're implementing it in anime. Even in some of your movies that just came out. Go look it up. Just being honest. Does that take away from the artistry? No, that actually speeds up some of the process. I'm gonna tell you why, right? So I don't know a lot of y'all who are artists. I don't know a lot of y'all who's done animation. But animation, like Akira, right? One of my favorite animes of all time. That man had to draw sketches of each piece. I think it was like 1,000 times. That's why, like, it stands the test of time to this very day, and that's why it's so good, because it was hand drawn consistently. I think he did like 1,000 pages of each piece of each movement, this, that, and the third, right? So if he would have had that technology today, he probably would have been able to do that 10 times faster with the AI enhancements. Now, would it be as beautiful as it is now? I don't know. But I know it would have sped up the process. We could have probably got a Akira too if we had the technology we had today back then. You know what I mean? But I tell people just, get in tune with certain things and realize what's happening. You know what I mean? And people don't realize, like, if you've looked at Resident Evil, if you've played Mass Effect, you know what I'm saying? And if you know Mass Effect 3, at the ending, you'll know who was there. You know what I'm saying? If you watched the old Resident Evil movies, these were all programmed AI, artificial intelligence. They even told you that. We just didn't know what it was that was operating certain systems. So, this was already spoken about years ago. Even will.i.am. Let's talk about it too, music wise, right? Linkin Park, when they did Lost, was an AI enhanced video. will.i.am, Black Eyed Peas have been talking about AI. If you look at the song, I'ma Be, I think it's I'ma Be, he literally tells you that there was going to be a machine that can implement all these things, and it was an artificial intelligence. It's been spoken about for years. You guys just been living underneath a blanket. Y'all got to start. Y'all really have to start watching and looking and not just looking at everything from a face value. Read between the lines and listen to what people say. The news, sometimes whatever you being spilled to in certain areas, like the news that just gives you garbage majority of the time, right? Training day, if you know, right? But if you look at the situation, they'll say, like music, they'll say certain things, and you got to take it to perspective. Like for me, for instance, right? I've always, me and my mom, shout out to my mom, love you. She loved the Flintstones. I love the Jetsons. She liked the Jetsons, but she know I love the Jetsons. I remember I used to tell my mom, yo, Mom, I believe there's going to be flat screen TVs. I feel like there's going to be conveyor belts that can literally move you from one side to the next where you don't have to walk. I believe in, like, floating. Like, they haven't happened yet. They've been trying to work on hovering cars, but we got cars that can talk and all that other stuff. Beep, bop, boop, bop, this, that, and the third. Like, I told my mom all of this when I was, like, 4 years old. And she looked at me like I was crazy. Look where we at now. Look where we at now. Look where we at now. So at the end of the day, like, AI is going to push those particular envelopes. Not only that, certain areas where people can't, like, process certain things or trying to find the conclusive state of where they need to be successful in a prototype or a project that they're working on, is going to be right beside them to try to figure it out with them. You know what I'm saying? Some of it will be answers that seem like it's going to be right, but then it's also trial and error. And then when that AI realizes that the human that we create, what we create, and realize that we made the solution, yeah, it'll implement that as a situation. Like, to me, AI is like the new encyclopedia. It's just a literally, in time living encyclopedia at all times. You can get any type of information you want. I'm sorry to say that, but if you're going to blame anybody, blame the colleges, blame, that's accepting it, and every college is doing it. It's going to be mandatory. It's called AI literature. It's going to be mandatory. You're going to have to know it to some form of fashion, because that's what's going on in the real world right now. So, it's unfortunate. I know it's something that you don't want to hear, but like I said, AI is going to be AI. Just like Photoshop was going to be Photoshop. Just like when computers first came out. A lot of people didn't like computers because they felt like everything, it replaced the typewriter. It replaced, certain company codes and stuff like that. Instead of having all these particular big pieces and bulletin boards of everything, the computer was able to do all of that without a problem. When people needed to get their checks and all that stuff done, it was all through computer. At one point, they had to write that through hand, analog, straight up. Per check. Now you ain't got that. You know what I'm saying? As the time progresses with humanity, it calls for more, faster development, because we got more people coming in, more people being born, all of that stuff. And like I said, having to find a solution, yeah, it could be, like I said, I can see where people could be upset about it, but then at the same time, it's like, if we don't go with the times of certain situations, we may be lost in the dust. If you want to ask my full opinion about just technology as a whole, do I need it? I mean, if we could break a Stone Age and have it to where, it was all grasslands and all of that, and we lived off the plantation and had to go hunt and all that other stuff, I'm all for it. A lot of y'all not, though. What's been able to take care of all of that? What is AI technology? What gets processed with food and all of that? It's all technology. It is what it is. Even if you want to say, even if you butcher something by hand, you still had to, like, grind it, cut it, and all that. That was a tool. Technology. So I just want to put that out there. Just want to get my mind clear about this AI thing, because I just see it a lot. Because I know every time I see my shorts be you know, I'm making a short, you know, people get overwhelmed and, you know, oh, why you got to use AI? Why you got to use AI? Because AI ain't going nowhere, dude. It's not. It's not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Do I think it needs to be put in music? I mean, if it's an enhancement on certain song development, cool. To be a whole thing, no. You know what I'm saying? Because then you take the soul out completely. Does it need to be in movies? If you gotta think about it, right? If you get movies that's done 10 times faster, and it puts an easier situation for the creators to kind of get their mind clear and can proceed on and make bigger projects and have things continuously going, that makes more revenue for the that makes more revenue for the development, makes more people go into seats, makes people, you know what I'm saying, that it speeds up certain processes on a scale of making it seem like it took 3 years, but it only took like months to make, compared to like having to use a heavy budget and this, that, and the third just for the writing and stuff like that. Gotta take all these things into consideration, y'all. For real. But that was just, and this is the longest I've done a video in forever. But hey, it is what it is. I had to get this off my chest. I'll holla at y'all. Y'all stay focused. Peace.